So I've been hearing a lot about this place, Chaka's. It's in the Museum District in Richmond, Virginia, and it's a tiny little place. It's like in this basement. You got to walk down these steps to get inside, and it's tiny inside. It's got about six of these red booths, and the only really updated things inside are the TV and the Wi-Fi. They got a bunch of pictures on the wall, all from different decades from all their past patrons. This wall at one point was called the Wall of Shame because a local priest from a church came in here and noticed everyone's picture on the wall. And these are the same people that weren't showing up in his church. So he said, "This is the Wall of Shame." Chaka's has been open since 1958, but the Chaka family actually arrived in Richmond in the late 1890s, and they were some of the first people to open up restaurants in Richmond. There actually used to be about four Chakas. They owned a couple pizza spots, but this is the last one standing of the Chaka Empire. Thought this was pretty funny how they had the bathrooms label sit and stand. Here's another shot of the red booth that I was talking about earlier. Like I said, it's tiny. And this is why we're here. The Reuben. One thing I want you to be prepared for if you come to Chaka's is the service is not going to be fast. As you can see, they can only crank out so many sandwiches in this limited area. And that Star broiler back there, that is from the 1930s from Star Manufacturing. They started manufacturing these broilers back in like the 1920s. And the original owner of Chaka's, Pete Chaka, bought this thing in the 1950s. And that's the same one. And they named it Peggy after Pete Chaka's wife, who's kind of the matriarch of the Chaka family. I really appreciated this gentleman letting me film. I asked him if I could film. He said, "Yep, go ahead." And super attentive to each of the sandwiches. Took a lot of care, making sure everything was just right on him. Definitely has some pride in his work. And my man never stopped moving. He was freaking busy back there cranking out these sandwiches. Never stopped moving. And you can see that Star broiler going to work again. And you can see that Star broiler puts out some heat. You can see that the meat on those sandwiches is steaming hot. This is our lovely waitress, Caitlin, bringing us our sandwiches. My daughter ordered the ham sandwich, which comes with lettuce, tomato, onion, and Swiss cheese, and a little bit of spicy mustard. And let me tell you, this thing was so damn good. I was so happy she was not able to eat the other half because I ate it, and I was very happy. 10 out of 10. This is the main attraction. This is the Reuben. They use corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, Thousand Island, and believe it or not, they put a little bit of Dijon mustard on there and grilled rye. Here is the grand opening. Now, if you look closely, you can actually see steam coming off the meat, but I'm going to show you why that is misleading. We do a temperature check, and 124 is not bad on the first half, but when we get over the second half, it barely gets to about 105. Now, what we want a Reuben to have is 140 minimal internal temperature. And that's not just me saying, that's FDA recommended guidelines. Safety. This is actually the first Reuben sandwich I've had where both halves weigh exactly the same. This came in at 15 ounces, just shy of a pound. It's a decent size sandwich, and they do a really good job slicing that corned beef. The corned beef is sliced so thin, and it was actually sliced right when we ordered the sandwich. I wish this Reuben had a little bit more Thousand Island. I wish the kraut was a little bit stronger. The bread was done perfectly grilled. Overall, I give this Reuben a 7.6.